Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Today, we'll give you what we have on that weekend quadruple homicide in Birmingham. We also have a renamed Southern tourist destination and alleged palmetto berry bandits. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Saturday night's shooting outside the Hush Lounge in Birmingham's 5 Points South has the city again asking witnesses to step forward and watching the year's morbid statistics continue to climb. There were 4 people killed and 17 others wounded during the shooting. It raised Birmingham's homicide total to 122 so far this year. Now, it's gone up since then, by the way. And it put the city on pace to easily break its record of 148 set in 1933. No arrests had been made as of this recording. Police say that one of the victims was targeted in a murder for hire, that there were multiple shooters, and that at least one used a device that converted the firearm into a fully automatic weapon. That means that it sprayed bullets like a machine gun rather than fired one round per trigger pull like a semi-automatic weapon. Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin called the surge in gun violence an American tragedy and called on lawmakers to put tighter regulations on the kinds of weapons that are now being used on the street. He specifically referenced the effects of the former assault weapons ban and a proposed state ban on Glock switches to back up the federal ban. Among the agencies helping BPD with the investigation are the FBI and ATF. Anyone with information on the killings is asked to call Birmingham Police or Crime Stoppers. 2 traditional vacation destinations for Alabama families have been the Gulf Coast and the Smoky Mountains. So while we're going a little outside Alabama for this one, we're trying to do our part to keep our people from getting lost in the mountains next spring. The highest peak in the Smokies, from where they say that on a clear day you can see 7 states, but in my experience it's never been very clear, Clingman's Dome now has a different name. Not a new name, but an old one. Last week, the U.S. Board on Geographic Names approved changing its name to Kuwohi, which is what the Cherokee called the mountain. That means mulberry place, according to the National Park Service. Tribune Media Services reported that 2 members of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, Mary Crow and Levita Hill, started working on a name change in 2022. Hill said the official change came as a bit of a shock. Quote, "What started as a fun idea transpired into reclaiming our native language on a significant mountain within the park. The peak was named Clingman's Dome in 1859 in honor of U.S. Senator Thomas Clingman. Clingman served in the U.S. House of Representatives and Senate before joining the Confederate Army during the Civil War." You've probably heard the advertisements for Saul Palmetto berry products. It's currently harvest season for the Saul Palmetto berry, and they can bring over $7 a pound, according to recent reports. Now, these aren't dates we're talking about, but Saul Palmetto berries. Don't just haul off and become a freelance palmetto picker without doing your homework. While Florida has recently regulated the harvest and possession of the berries, even here in Alabama, 4 men were arrested during their harvesting, reports AL.com's Patrick Darrington. Police in Gulf Shores found the Florida men with more than 18 bags of the berries stuffed into a vehicle. The berries weighed in around 2,000 pounds. Now, that would have been a felony in Florida, and the men told police here that they didn't think we had such laws, which we don't. But the problem for them is they were in the Bon Secours National Refuge, where collecting any plant is against the law. They were also charged with marijuana possession. This week is another good one to keep an eye on the tropics. There's a disturbance down in Central America that has a pretty high probability of developing into a depression over the coming days. Now, if it does that, it could end up in the Gulf during the peak of hurricane season. there are still a lot of ifs about it, but it's always better to be a few days ahead of these things. Thank y'all for listening to us. We will be back here again in the morning. Until then, come on by and see what we're doing anytime you want to on the internet at al.com.